Hello, my fellow adventurers! This is Mloentje, and welcome back to New World. In the previous episode, we went over all the small things that we could find that were kind of interesting in the patch notes, and we, of course, took a look inside of the game, how they changed and how it actually looked, and also at the things that we could not find. So if you guys already found Stinky or the Yetis, please let me know where so I can take a look at them myself. For today's episode, we of course are gonna take a look at the new weapon, which I spent some time leveling up yesterday. And I do have to say, from all the weapons that I leveled up so far, it is among one of the fastest to level up. It actually does pack a punch, and I am still working from my regular attributes. I'm using it from my healing tree. So the Blunderbuss that I actually picked up is one with focus, of course, and a little bit of constitution. I couldn't find a full focus one. And it is, of course, not 600 yet, because I'm still working on its expertise level. So it is downgraded, so it is not gonna do the amount of damage that a 600 weapon can do, or even, well, a 625 weapon can do, right? Plus, it is based off of intelligence and strength, as I believe. Let's quickly take a look at attributes, and then under intelligence we can find the Blunderbuss here, so scaling with strength and intelligence. So if you want to do the most amount of damage with it, you definitely want to go up the strength tree or the intelligence tree. I'm not really sure. I'm probably not gonna use it as a damage weapon. If I'm actually gonna use it more as a utility weapon to restrain people, to slow people down, to knock people down the floor, and well, to kind of push myself away. So that is what we are gonna do today, guys. We are gonna check out all the skills one by one and what they actually do. So we got two trees, of course. We got the containment tree and we've got the chaos tree. And in the first containment tree here, we find the net shot. Fire a large size net projectile out of the Blunderbuss, dealing 40% weapon damage. The net is large projectile that will slow anyone hit by 40% for 2.5 seconds. So actually almost half the speed somebody can be moving at, and for 2.5 seconds is actually a long duration. Now, if you are standing still or moving backwards, the recoil from this attack will knock you back further. If moving sideways or forward, you will continue forward unhindered. And then for the additional perks, we got fast hands. So if net shot hits a target, it reduces the cooldown by 20%. So if you miss, you basically are stuck with, what is the cooldown? 17.1%. I do have to say that on every part of my gear, I have refreshing on it. So this is not the initial. I should actually just remove all my... No, let's not. So with all refreshing gear, it is 17.1%, guys. Then if we go down, 20% reduction. Apparatus, the net now inflicts a 50% slow that degrades to the normal move speed over 5%. So you can, the initial 40% slow that you put on is now gonna be a 50% slow, and it is gonna slow, so it is for 2.5 seconds normally for the 40%, but now it degrades. It gets like, if it's 5 seconds, I would think it lowers its speeds. It's slow with 10% every second. So at 4 seconds, it basically gives you a 40%. 3 seconds, it gives you a 30%. 2 seconds, it gives you a 20%. So the slow is actually really hard increased. And for the last part, we got net shot, initial barbed netting. Initial hit is reduced to 5% weapon damage. However, it now deals 35 additional weapon damage as poison each second for 3 seconds. So the 40% damage that you do with the initial shot is now kind of split up between the 5 weapon damage that you do with the hit, and then 35% with weapon damage as poison for 3 seconds. So if you do the math, I think barbed netting eventually is gonna do more damage. It should do more damage than the initial hit itself. So let's quickly test that out. Let's take out our Blunderbuss. And we actually didn't set up the skills yet, so let's take these out. Let's flip them. Let's quickly check on this NPC here what the damage is looking like. So 60 times 3 and 120 times 3. And we only hit like a little small bar of his health, right? So if we go down now, if we take that initial barbed in there, yeah, I'm in combat, so I can't really. Let's just kill him. Yeah, you can see he is slowed pretty fast, and slowly he is actually regaining his initial hit. And I do have to say, the reload is super fast on the gun. The movability while shooting, while moving, it's actually pretty good. It is actually pretty good. So we saw the damage for that first hit. Now let's get the barbed netting on there and see how much damage we actually do with this skill, right? So let's see if we can find a normal farmer. Don't want to get somebody with a yellow bar or something, because they basically will neglect some of the damage. So we throw the net out there. So as you can see, it ticking away. It is a little bit more. I would even say that's almost the same amount of damage that you do. But now it is basically damage over time that you do. So I'm not really sure what the better skill would be. If you actually want it for the initial burst that it does. Or if you just want to put it up there, get your range as you get knocked back, and just let the enemy tick away in the background. It is not doing a lot of damage. It is mostly a skill for slowing the enemy down. And actually, like I said, pushing yourself backwards, getting some distance between you and the enemy. So for the next skill, let's respec. Yeah, I'm not gonna respec every time, right? So for the next skill, and that is a skill I kind of find it should be reversed. We got the claw shot. So claw shot cooldown 17.1%. Shoot forward a 4-pronged claw attached to a chain from the muzzle. And I think everybody, the second we saw this skill, was like, we're getting a grappling hook, guys. We are gonna be able to traverse across the island with a grappling hook. No, it doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. I know. Everybody would love it if you could traverse it like, if you could use it for a traversal tool. But I think people would start abusing it. They would start abusing it to get over the walls in OPR and just basically start capping bases before they were actually allowed to. And even in walls, just get over the wall and get in a war and get on the capture point before you're actually, like, people would start abusing it. So it's kind of logical that they didn't put it in that way. So shoot forward a 4-pronged claw attached to a chain from the muzzle. The projectile will travel up to 14 meters and cannot pull you upwards more than 3 meters. So here comes the initial part. It does pull you forward. If it connects to an enemy, it will deal 40% weapon damage and inflict root for 1 second before it quickly pulls you towards them. So you hit them, you root them down for 1 second, and then it pulls you actually towards the enemy. This pull can be cancelled by any ability or use of any primary fire. The taunt gem is compatible. So if you have a carnelian gem equipped in your blunderbuss, this ability inflicts taunt for 4 seconds when it hits. Taunt causes the monster to focus only on you. So this is really nice to parry alongside a tank. Like, you see a mob that's somewhere out there and you kind of want to, well, and this is also why I kind of want to throw this around. You should be able to pull the target towards you and not you towards the target. If you're a tank and you're standing at the boss and you see like a mob hitting your healer, you do not want to move the boss. You want to pull them up from your healer towards yourself. You have the boss in a certain position. That's how tanking works. You are directing where the boss is. You are directing where he's standing, and you want to make sure that you can pull everything towards you and not you towards the enemy. So this is something I don't really get why it is actually used in this manner. For the second one, upon usage, restores 8 stamina every second for 10 seconds. Again, really good for tanks. You are using your stamina to block those attacks with your shield. So if you use this one, you basically get a regen in stamina. So you pull yourself towards the enemy, you swap back to your shield, and you still remain, like, every time he hits you, you are getting stamina back to block more and more and more. So this is actually a really good ability for tanks. And then we have Combat Readiness. Landing a pellet, even if blocked, lowers the cooldown of this ability by 2% each. And then for the last one, a Mobile Overload. Successful pulls will automatically grant 1 loaded ammunition. If you currently have 2 loaded ammunitions, this will exceed the max cap and grant a 3rd ammo. So really, really nice. So let's quickly find this mob here again. Yeah, this mob is gonna be our test subject for the entire time. So 14 meters is actually pretty big range. Let's quickly see how far we can actually stand from it. And yeah, you see it immobilizes him. So he was standing in his spot. And it pulled us completely towards him. And I find it would make more sense if the target was actually pulled towards us. Now you do see that I have 2 pellets loaded up right now. So if we grab some distance, we pull them towards ourselves. I'm getting a 3rd round in my magazine, guys. Meaning I can get 3 shots in after I did the pull. Now for PvP, this is actually really good. You can pull yourself towards the target that is running away. And that means you can, as a booster with a hammer or an axe, actually get some more damage in there. So it's kind of, I kind of feel like for somebody who wants to do damage, it's a good skill that it pulls you towards them. For a tank that actually needs to control a boss and wants the adds to come to them, it's not really how it's supposed to work. So it's kind of, I kind of have a double feeling with this one. But yeah, getting a reload, a triple shot, some movability. And let's quickly see, because I do want to be sure that if I aim at this tree, it's not gonna pull me towards the tree, right? No. So you cannot use it. I tried it before, but I kind of wanted to make sure that I show you guys as well. You cannot use this one as a grappling hook through traverse, guys. So for the next part we have in containment is the Azot Shrapnel Blast. And this one, I do have to say, I used a lot while leveling it up. It does massive amount of damage. So it fires 5 shots in a horizontal fan in front of you while pushing yourself backwards. So again, we see this backwards movement, creating distance between you and the enemy, giving you more mobility. Like, mobility with this weapon is key, guys. So it pushes yourself backwards, and each shot will deal 58 weapon... Yeah, 85 weapon 58, 85 weapon, 80, yeah, 58, yeah, I was right, weapon damage. Every consecutive hit on the same target will deal 15% less damage than the previous hit. So it is 5 shots. If you deal 5 shots, like the 4 other shots will do lower damage than the first bullet you hit on it. And then we have reach, increases the range of this attack from 12 meters to 16 meters. So if you use your net shot to actually get that first increase in distance, and then actually use this one to again get a little bit further away, pushing yourself backwards even more, getting yourself in that line of 12 to 16 meters, you can still do damage with this. So again, really good versatility on mobility there. Fire 4 additional pellets with each use of this ability. So every time you use it, you're gonna have more pellets you're shooting. The more pellets means that, again, they're gonna do less and less damage, but you have more pellets in total. So the total amount of damage you're gonna do is more. We've got refresh on here. Each individual hit from this ability or from the Blunderbuss primary fire will lower the cooldown of this ability by 1.5%. And this is actually pretty huge, because this is why I also said I use this ability a lot to actually deal a lot of damage. You refresh it really, really fast. And then for the last one, the Azov Bomb. Fire a singular bomb down the center of the fan. This bomb will implant itself in the world and explode, dealing 100% damage in a 3-meter area after a 0.5 second delay. So it actually blows up really, really fast. So let's commit the points. Let's go back to our little farmer that should have respawned while I was yapping on. So the initial blast, guys, you want to be as close as possible, because just look at the amount of damage that this did. It is insane, the amount of damage that that did. So many pellets that it fires. And yeah, getting a headshot in. You see, it was half his health bar was gone only with 2 shots. And yeah, getting the light shots in every time, you kind of refresh it and you have it back really, really fast. Like, this was one of my main abilities to clear out. Plus, it is a fan shot, so you can, if we go to these two guys here, you can actually, if I hit it correctly, the last damage you saw there was kind of the bomb. Put up a net. Let's pull ourselves back. You can hit multiple enemies at the same time with this ability. So for clear out ads, it's not the best AoE damage, but it is an AoE damage that you can actually do. Missed my shot there. And especially, yeah, the grenades, really good for clearing out those nasty ads if they are in a circle around you guys. And those are all the skills except for, yeah, the last one, unload. The next shot fired within 6 seconds after triggering an ability will have 9 pellets instead of 6. So the normal amount of ammo you have in a blunderbuss is 6 pellets. If you actually use an ability, the next shot you will do actually will have 9 pellets. So again, more damage in this tree, guys. For the smaller abilities, we've got, if you land 5 or more pellets in a single shot, you restore 1 stamina per pellet hit. So 9 hits times 5 is 45 extra stamina in 1 shot. So that's actually really, really good. And this is also why this gun is so good from up close. You want to be up close and personal. You want to put the blunderbuss in its face and just make sure that like every hit of every pellet hits, getting that increase in regen. For the next one, we have run and gun. Reloading gives you a speed boost of 40% that decays over 1 second. So it's only a 1 second boost. But again, the mobility in this gun is amazing, guys. You can keep just running, pull yourself towards him, shoot him, push yourself backwards, reload, get that boost, get the distance again, pull him back to you, use another ability, push yourself back away, push the enemy away. Like, it is insane what this gun can do. Reloads with ramp give you a damage boost of 4% for 6 seconds. It stacks up to 4 times. So that is a 16% increased damage that you can get there. Deep load, last shot loaded in the blunderbuss will do 15% increased damage. So if you have 2 shots in there and you are using your, which was it again? Was it the grappling hook? Yeah, it was the grappling hook. So you use the grappling hook, for instance. You have 2 pellets in there. You successfully hit with your grapple hook. You load in 1 extra round, giving you 3 rounds. Basically meaning that that 3rd round will have a 15% increased damage. And even if you don't load in that 3rd round, your 2nd round on a reload will actually have that 15% increased damage. And then for the last perk, we have Fortifying Aggression. Successful hits within 3 meters grant Fortify, increasing damage absorption by 10% for 2 seconds. But you are again really close by. So you are definitely constantly getting those hits in. Constantly getting that damage absorption. So containment tree, really, really fun to play with. Then we are going to the chaos tree, and that is indeed a little bit more chaotic, I do have to say. For the first ability, we've got the splitting grenade. It shoots a grenade out of the blunderbuss that will bounce up to 4 times and will detonate after 1.5 seconds. The splitting grenade can also be manually detonated by reactivating its ability key at any time. Upon detonation, it will create 3 mini grenades that will disperse and explode 1 second after landing, dealing 85 weapon damage in a 3-meter area. So actually a really good AoE ability, clearing out those mobs if they are kind of grouped up. Upon detonation, each successful grenade hit against the same target deals 40% less base damage. So you do want to make sure that your grenades are spread out and that you are hitting multiple targets at the same time. If you are hitting the same target, it's basically gonna be less damage from the initial grenades, initial damage. So we got Soften in here, deal 25 increased damage to targets greater than 50% health. We got Delayed Escape, any grenade hit grants haste, increasing movement speed by 20% for 3 seconds. Again, here comes in that mobility, being able to like just shoot and dash out, shoot and run away. Multiple hits will refresh the duration when they hit. So if you have a bomb that blows up on one target and you get the increased haste, the second bomb will increase that haste, and you will get more and more haste for a longer duration. And then the last one, incendiary burst, splitting grenades, explosion, inflict burn on hit, dealing 10% weapon damage per second for 10 seconds, stacking up to 30 times. So if you can get 3 hits in there, that means you get 30% weapon damage for 10 seconds per second. That is pretty huge, actually. So let's take this and let's see if our lovely farmer here is back, and let's check out. So if we fire it randomly, you can see that it rolls away, it creates those 3 little grenades, and then it basically explodes. So let's wait a little bit and see how much damage it actually does. And yeah, I have mastery points available. I know. I do have to say I didn't use the grenade for actually dealing damage. I kinda used the instant damage perks to actually level it up. I found that those were more interesting. So let's pull it up. And now we get a 3 stack burn on him. Yeah, you can see 40, 40, 40, 40. And it does last for 10 seconds. So, as you can see here, we got what? 2/3 of his health bar away with just this shot. So it is actually, it does a lot of damage. And we did miss that shot there. Let's finish him off. There we go. Then for the next one, we have Mortar Charge, a 15-second cooldown. Load the Blunderbuss with heavy canisters for the next 15 seconds or 3 shots. The shots will no longer fire multiple pellets, but instead will fire a heavy, fast-diving mortar-style canister that causes a tall explosion upon impact, dealing 100% weapon damage in a 3-meter area. Again, an AoE damage in there to clear out those adds. And for the next perk, we got Steady. Each hit grants 7 stamina. Not really sure why that is part of the Mortar Charge. I can't really see the benefit in there. Because it's running and gunning, right? With the Mortar Charge. So you're really not using any stamina. Or it's maybe dodging gun. Then, yeah, maybe I can see the benefit in there. You get freedom with each shot fired, gain a burst of 50% movement speed with decays in power over 3 seconds. And then we have streak, gain an extra canister. You can now fire up to 4 shots. So our little friend there is not back yet. So let's test out on these 2 farmers over here. So you load it in. And basically you get 4 shots now. And you do have like this grenades. Like area. Yeah, 260 there. 290 there. So it is doing really good damage, guys. It is really doing really good damage. And this is also why I didn't really use the grenade yesterday. It's kind of... You kind of have to, like... If you're solo... Let's fire up this grenade launcher. And you can't just fire it at the ground, right? Just keep the mobs off you. You have 230 there, 260. So it does do great damage. The problem with this grenade launcher, like I said, the mobs need to be stable on the grenade, right? If you are running and gunning, like I'm doing right now, the mobs will just run over your grenade. I do love this, right? I do love this. Like, it is freaking amazing, the abilities that you can get with this. Come on, and let's blow this one away as well. Now let's look at the last part of the Chaos tree, guys. The Blast Shot. And the Blast Shot is one of the abilities I have been using and I'm probably going to use in the future as well. So blast immense wind out of the Blunderbuss, knocking down any target immediately in front of you. The Blast Shot deals 70% weapon damage. And it is this knockback that you are seeing a lot in PvP. Like, they knock you down they basically grab the hammer, they stun you down, they knock you back on the floor, they get their axe, they do their little heavy chop with a swing, and you're dead. And you cannot do anything. Like this is already becoming a little bit of meta for the hammer bruisers or the axe bruisers. Like, holy crap. Then we get preparation. Blast shot applies rend, increasing damage applied to all targets affected by this ability by 10%. So again, guys, you blast him to the floor, he gets rent, you are gonna do more damage to him, and you just nuke him out while he's on the floor. And then we get lingering flow, and this is actually pretty cool. The area 10 meters in front of you remains influenced by wind for the next 8 seconds. You and your allies gain a 25% move speed bonus while in the area. So this actually does look pretty cool. So if we go to our unhappy farmer over here, and we would hit him. This area right now has 25% movement speed for us and slow for the other enemy. And it does last a little while, but you basically knock him down to the floor and you create an area where you can actually get to him and away from him faster if you want to. Let's quickly wait on a refresh here. Knock him down on the floor. You go there with your hammer, knock him down, or with your axe and just go ham on him, right? And do that initial damage. And then for the last perk for Blunderbuss in the Chaos tree, we've got Double Down. Once every 30 seconds, your next ability used will have its cooldown reduced by 50%. Really nice perk as well. So if I would respec, can I respec? Yeah, why can I not respec? Let's respec. What I have been using is actually this line here. So I went for this, then I went for these, and then I went for this. Not grabbing the burn. I would get the extra damage boost. I would get increased damage, and I would get the unload. And then for the final one, holding on. So we didn't go over the small perks actually in Chaos 3. Let's quickly do that. Triggering an ability decreases all damage taken by 3% for 10 seconds. Stacks up to 5 times. So it's a 15% decrease in damage taken. Again, really good for tanking, guys. We've got, what else is in there? The Last Chance. Whenever you take a hit and your health is below 50%, gain 50% damage reduction for 4 seconds. Again, really good for tanking, guys. And then this one, I really love this one. Extended Chamber. And I think a lot of people are gonna go for this perk here. Holding on to 2 loaded ammunitions for 2 seconds after a reload will load a 3rd active ammunition. So this is like, you basically get a free bullet. Just, if I would actually shoot my gun now, I reload, and I just wait 1, 2, bam, and I get a 3rd shot. What I've been doing, of how I've been actually playing yesterday for farming it up, blast him away, you nuke him in the floor, you get that distance, get those shots in, get that refresh, get up and close, slow him down, get that distance again, knock him to the floor, get that grenade in the floor. And that's basically how I've been playing yesterday. Slow him, get him backwards, get some distance, go back up front, get that AoE in, the grenade on the floor. It is really fun. And it's run and gun, guys. Like, the Blunderbuss really is run and gun. Anyway, guys, that is everything I can tell you about my experience with the Blunderbuss and, well, yeah, all the abilities that are on the Blunderbuss. I do have to say one more thing. I have been playing with no ammo. I do have ammo in my inventory, but I have no ammo in my cartridge slot. And I can still fire the Blunderbuss. So something I did kind of forget in the patch notes, you can now actually just shoot your weapons, your bow, your blunderbuss, your musket, without actually having ammo in its slot. I think they removed the flint arrows, something like that, and they basically gave it, if you remove the arrows out of your slot, you have infinite ammo. Now, that also does mean that you do not get the increased modifier on it. So I got 1.2 modifier, well, everybody got 1.2 modifier, damage modifier on the Calcum ammo. If you're using no ammo, you do not get that modifier, of course, so you are gonna land lower hits. So everything that I've been doing, the base damage that I've been doing, is basically without ammo. So if I would implement ammo in my cartridge, and I would actually shoot the same NPC, so let's quickly go up him. I do a lot more damage. I do a lot more damage. And he's already dead. Like, this would take at least 1 second longer to kill than it would without the ammo, guys. So yeah, if you want to level up your weapons, I did it without ammo, and it was still pretty fast, I do have to say. But yeah, something I kind of forgot to mention in the patch notes, and there probably will be more things that I kind of forget. But yeah, I'm gonna end this episode up here, guys. I'm gonna sit my ass down like I always do. If you want to see more of my quest progression or my Let's Play here in New World, just hit that subscribe button. It would always help out a lot. I do hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.